The garlic harvest is late this year because it rained non-stop for days. While I was busy trying not to worry about it, I took the opportunity to turn my double bogie wagon into a garlic transporting wagon. My flatbed double bogie wagon has proved to be very useful. I've used it for carrying all sorts of things, including dogs and humans and wheelbarrows and straw and fish boxes, fence posts, gate posts, and without the flatbed, the bogies also carry rails. It works so well because each of the little four-wheeled bogies takes the weight of one end of the wagon, so the weight is spread out over 8 wheels. And those support points in the middle of each bogie is also a hinge, so the whole assembly can go around corners smoothly, even when the load is 20 feet long. But now I need it to carry garlic. And the garlic needs to come into the barn because that's where the drying racks are, which means coming through a narrow doorway. So the first thing I did was to trim the bed slightly. In the barn, the wheels run on their flanges, not on their treads, so they can be a bit wayward in their direction. But if they stick mostly to the tracks, then it should fit through all right. Just. I'm using slats of Douglas fir to make up simple lightweight sides. That should work, I think. Of course, the thing to remember if you use thin battens or slats is always to pre-drill your screw holes, or else the timber will just split on you, and you don't want that. Now, the key to this wagon's usefulness is its versatility. Sometimes I need sides, sometimes I don't. So I don't want to fix anything permanently to the frame or to the bed. So the challenge was to make everything detachable easily. So the ends are held in position with just one fat screw each, which just wedges up under the frame. So that's a good start. Now the sides are quite long, and I was a bit worried that they might bulge in the middle with all the weight, all the garlic. So I decided to make a sandwich of the slats with 2 stringers, one on each side, which, as you know, makes a surprisingly rigid top, like the gunnels in a boat. Halfway along the bottom, I added a metal pin to stop the bottom edge bulging out. And on either end I welded on a simple bracket. Those are the only modifications I made to the original wagon. Except while I was at it, I triangulated the end frames. Not that the garlic will weigh enough to collapse them, but the wheelbarrows of muck, later on, they might do that, I suppose. And that was that. I gave the metal a lick of paint, and we're ready to assemble it. You might remember I built these bogies with wooden bearings. That is, the axles bear directly on the blocks of wood. That's all. The metal axles spinning against blocks of oily wood. And this is how much wear they've had. 4 or 5 millimeters, maybe. Less than a quarter of an inch so far. Actually, I'd be amazed if you do remember that, because I barely remember it. But I'm glad I made them like that. It was an experiment at the time, but they work perfectly. And of course, they're very, very cheap and easy. I grease them whenever I think of it. Now, most of the year, these slatted sides will be hanging up out of the way somewhere, but they could be very useful sometimes. The sides are held in place with a loop of string at either end, top corners. And the bottom corners drop into those brackets, and the pins drop into the holes. Pretty easy. I'm not expecting to use the locomotive to bring the garlic in. If all goes well, there will always be a few people around to push it in. And that's it. I'm pretty pleased with it, really. It looks okay, I think. But will it work in real life? Finally, we had a break in the weather, and I gathered my crew and we pulled a good batch of the bulbs and laid them out on the ground to wilt overnight. Meanwhile, that doorway was still bothering me. I didn't want the wagon to crash into the frame and break the glass next to it, and there's only half an inch of clearance on either side. So I cut out some of the concrete around the rails just for the crucial part through the door, and that should allow the wheels to drop further down onto the rails and center themselves better. Easy does it. So far so good. And I opened the louvers in the barn wall, ready to let the draft in and keep the rain out. And away we went.
And it's almost sort of, it's not intentional.
No, it's just kind of the way, yeah.
No, right, exactly.
Everything else.
So long ways like that?
Dunno, just try it, see what happens. I'm honestly not sure I make any profit on the garlic at all. After the wages go out for the planting and the harvesting and the cleaning and the selling, but I still like to grow them.
Yes, that's the easiest.
It's very satisfying to grow a crop of anything, really, and I enjoy working physically in a group of nice people. It seems to me to be a very basic need in humans to work together to gather food for the winter, especially. Not all the time, of course. I don't like humans that much. But times like these are very satisfying. Fun, even. What the hell? Okay. And stop. And put some more in. we need a handbrake. Maybe 2 people at the front and 2 at the back. Just don't get run over, right? And slowly through the doorway. Way.
Sorry.
Whoa. Lovely. Well, that worked. Christine, if you lift the string up
Oh, straight.
off the back.
Oh, yes, yes.
That's the peg. Up. And then you should just lift away like that. Okay. And the garlic wagon worked pretty much perfectly and saved a lot of wheelbarrow trips. I mean, a lot. You can get a whole heap of garlic into this size garlic wagon. So now all I need is for the weather to dry up again, because it's been raining all night, so I can get the last of it in, and for the wind to dry the bulbs properly, and for the shops to want to stock them. That's all I want.